friends and family. I am just making this video today to talk to you a bit about my future plans, which is to go into an internship for ministry. And to start off, I just would like to tell you a bit about my story, my personal story. Most of you already know about my testimony and how I came to Christ, and some of you don't. So we'll just have a brief intro about that one. Well, to start off, I grew up around believers, around Christians. A lot of people in my family, most of them were Christians, but just personally, it was just something I never believed in. I can remember the time when I went to church for the first time, and I went into the youth room with the kids, and we would color stories of the Bible, and I remember thinking, what is going on here? This is pretty dumb. Because as we were coloring, they were telling us the stories of the Bible, and I just kept that attitude throughout like my whole youth, and I just never really accepted belief in something like that for myself. And just coming up as a kid, through trying to find myself and going through depression and everything, I kind of took on the atheist lifestyle, the belief systems of an atheist. By the time I was in middle school, I just really started to get aggressive when it came to like God and Jesus and everything, and I kept feeling a lot of times that people who were Christians were like kind of forcing it on me, and even in my family, just kind of pushing their beliefs on me, which in turn made me reject it more, I think, in my opinion. And it never made sense to me to believe in something that I couldn't see. So by the time I got in high school, I started to search more, trying to figure out myself more, my identity. So I dabbled in lots of things like Wiccans and pagans, and even like the dark side, like devilish things. I was just searching for an answer to some things. I felt like there had to be more out there, and so I just came across atheism, and it fell along with what I personally believe, that there was no God, and all those things. But I was the covert atheist, which I didn't actively dismiss other people's beliefs and everything and say, oh, you're stupid for believing this or that. I was really just open-minded atheist and saying like, oh, you can believe whatever you want to. I don't believe it's right personally, but if that's what you want to do. And so I went into college, and that's where I became a lot more open-minded, and I even got into philosophy classes and talked about religion in there, and then religion through art classes, and like really piqued my interest about things, became more open-minded and wanting to know more. And so I went to the University of Louisiana, and on the very first day I moved in, and I didn't know anybody, of course, but as I was moving in, there was this group of people, and they were helping everyone move in, and they were just really kind and really talking to me, especially this one girl in particular. Her name was Caitlin, and she would she was just trying to get to know me. She was talking to me and like being really friendly, and I was telling her that I was going from California and I didn't know anybody there, and after we got all moved in, she invited me to hang out with her later that day, and of course I said definitely yes, because I didn't know anybody else in the university. So later that day we hung out, and more we hung out day after day, and we became good friends. And I noticed that Jesus was a big thing in her life, and she was a Christian, and I told her that I'm very against that personally, but I respected what she believed, she respected what I believed, and we just kept hanging out. And then she invited me one time to this Christian event for Chi Alpha, was the name of the organization that she was a part of, and I really respected her, and I felt like as a friend I should just go see like what she's really into, especially since I was a big part of her life. So I went with her, and I just really loved the people. I felt like they were really genuine, and I felt like they were super sweet and loving and just accepting. And I had never really met people quite like that before, just real people. So I loved it. I just kept hanging around the Chi Alpha organization, the group of people, and let's skip along a little bit. So later on, I went to this free meal with a message. It happens every week. Local churches provide a free meal for everyone. And so I went, and then I played a game, and you could win prizes if you play the game. And so long story short, I won a free trip to a Christian retreat that everyone was going to. And I kind of tried to give it back because I didn't feel that I deserved it, because everyone was trying to go and people were having financial problems, and I felt like this is a Christian retreat where Christians go and worship, and I'm not a Christian, so I felt like I told them to give it to someone who didn't have money, and they said that I wanted fair and square and I should just go, not even worry about it, and just have fun. So I said, heck yes, I'll have that back and I will go, because all of my friends were going. So I went to that Christian retreat, and I was having fun, just, not even thinking about anything, and just one sermon that I went to, I felt something really weird and really powerful, and it really freaked me out the first time that it happened. And then I went to Caitlin, the girl I told you about in the beginning, and I told her, I said, I really don't know what's going on here. And then I told her I was really freaked out, and she said that, well, if you think it's God, just go with it. Because what I had heard was like, it's really hard tugging on my heart and my soul. It was like something super powerful that I could not understand, and I couldn't fathom. Like, I didn't know what it was, and I had never felt it before in my life. So, and I just kept hearing something telling me, just let go, just believe. And so it was just really weird. So when she told me, like, if I think it's God, just go with it, I was like, okay, but I don't think it's gonna happen again, because weird stuff like that doesn't really happen more than once. So the next sermon that I went to, it happened again, and 10 times stronger, and just over and over again, just let go, just believe. And that tugging was just so strong, and it wasn't a bad tugging, it was just like, just very weird. And so I knew it was God, like, at that point in time. I just knew it, and I started like visualizing an image of Jesus' face and everything. And yeah, I knew it was God, and I couldn't deny it any longer. So at that moment, I just let go, and I believed, and I started crying. I didn't know why I was crying. I just started crying a whole lot, and I just gave my life to Christ, I guess, that moment. And then Caitlin, she went to go get a pastor. We prayed a salvation prayer, and then right after that, I keep the part that I really like to tell people that I feel is strongly important is that in the very moment that I let go and believe, I felt a huge weight just lift off of my shoulders. Like the weight of the world just lift off, and I just felt like I could breathe again in a strange way. Like, just I could breathe new. I felt very new suddenly in the very moment. And yeah, I'll make a whole nother video about my full testimony and details to the fullest. But for now, that's what happened. And I mean, immediately after that, I just really put my life into God's hands, and I tried to listen to His calling. I tried to get to know Him, and read my Bible, and attend church services and worship ceremonies, all that stuff. And from that moment on, I've just been growing immensely, just super fast in my spiritual walk with God. And yeah, that is really a big reason why I'm really passionate about ministry at the moment, campus ministry in particular, because it's like the girl Caitlin, my friend Caitlin, like, we need more people like her in the ministry, in the church, to reach people like me, reach people who are just lost and just looking to find something, some kind of identity, something to fill that hole that a lot of us don't know is a hole. We don't know that it's something that needs to be filled. And so, how I got my calling to this internship. One time I was at this conference in Texas. It was this Christian conference that we go to every year. And I was going to some of the workshop classes, and somehow I randomly ended up in the future leader internship. And I really did not know how I got there. And it was really weird, but when I got there, I felt like I needed to be there, and that was just where I needed to be. So I stayed, and I was listening, and I was really engaged, and I just really kept feeling like this is something I need to do. I felt like God was putting me in that room because it's something that He wanted me to do. And so I left there, and I was like, I really hope this is a mistake because I don't want to do this. And so days and weeks passed, and I just kept feeling more and more that it was something that God wanted me to do. I kept getting confirmation after confirmation that that's something that I needed to do. And yeah, so I was thinking and praying and trying to figure out why I would be called to something like that. And I realized that after I went to my Germany missions trip, I left my heart in Germany after I went to that missions trip, I will say. And I definitely feel the need to go back there, or to go back somewhere in Europe. I'll talk more about that, but I definitely feel the call to go to Europe and do ministry over there, be a European missionary. Or maybe even South America, who knows, but I definitely feel the call to be a missionary at some point in my life. Okay, so a big question that most of you will have is, what is Chi Alpha? What is this place that I'm going to intern at? So Chi Alpha is a Christian fellowship organization. It's under the Assemblies of God. We like to reach the students on campus, all over the campus, who haven't heard the gospel and who don't know God, and we like to share the gospel and who God is and share His love with them. And we desire to disciple and train other students who are Christians, who are part of this ministry, and make disciples of them so that they can then go out and make more disciples, and more disciples will just multiply. We have 4 main missions that we seek to achieve. The first one is reaching out to the students on campus who, like I said, they don't know God and they are lost or looking to find themselves in college. That's what a lot of students are coming to do. And we like to, bring them in and show them a better way of life from going out and drinking and doing things that might be hurtful to them in the future. We just like to bring them in and show them a good, loving, accepting place where they can grow and find identity through Christ. The second thing is to reach out to our youth and give them a solid sense of identity through Christ and show them what it means to walk out their faith and to walk with Christ and to have Him be the core of their lives, the center of their lives. Because 80% of Christian youth actually end up turning away from God by the time that they graduate from high school. So it's a really big statistic that we want to change. And the third thing is international students. You see, when international students come to the United States to study, the big things that they struggle with are cultural differences, in adapting and adjusting to our culture, language barriers, and just loneliness because of these other things. And it's really our heart to break through those barriers that they are up against and those obstacles, and break through those enforced familial traditions that they are stuck in, because a lot of international students have adopted their parents' faiths and they just hold on to it because it's a tradition and because it was something that the parents kind of pushed upon them, but they don't really hold it for themselves. And we just would like to show these international students just compassion and just love on them and just show them the love of Christ. And the fourth and final thing is future leaders, reaching future leaders. Future Christian leaders will impact many people and will go out and impact different levels of our society. And we just like to give them a solid foundation in their faith, and so that they can stand firm in what they believe in and what they stand for, and hopefully eventually have a heart to reach out and disciple other students who are of the Christian faith. So a big thing that we like to do to make a thriving and effective ministry is we like to engage students in various activities, from large group activities like worship services to smaller ones like Bible study groups, or we call them life groups because we do life together. It's more than just learning the Bible. We are a strong group of girls and boys, the girls with the girls, boys with the boys, and you just really relate God into various aspects of your life and just really get vulnerable and get to know each other on deeper levels, and God too. Another thing that we like to do is like outreach, evangelism kind of services, and just to serve God and build community and fellowship. Me personally, my personal plan that I feel that God has called me to do with this internship in my ministry, what I would like to do is to reach out to the LGBTQ XYZ LMNOP community, the homosexual community. I feel that, especially coming from the San Francisco Bay Area, it's really heavy on my heart, and I really feel that urgency to include them into the Christian ministry and let them know that God does not hate them for how they are and who they are. Like, let them know that they are still loved every day and that God still wants to get to know them, and they are accepted into churches. I would like to just, really dive into that stuff and get to know them too, like get to know more about them and how they feel about God, and just relate stuff to homosexuality from the Bible and just a lot of that. Also, another thing that's been heavy on my heart for this internship is to really, when I will have my own small group or life group of girls, and one of the things that I would like to also incorporate, as well as talking about homosexuality and stuff, is, that's included, to talk about stuff that are considered taboo in the church and everything, and not just saying don't do that or that's bad, but like diving into the deep parts of why God says it's bad and why he says it's wrong, and just to have deeper conversations about different parts of the Bibles that we study, and just really get a good understanding of the whys, instead of just saying, okay, this is what it says, but like really knowing what it says and why it says it. And and just like making it okay to talk about that stuff, because the more you hide it and like push it down and like push it deep inside of you, you're just gonna have just big struggles. Like, you could struggle with depression from hiding stuff that you feel ostracized about, and just talk about things like from homosexuality to eating disorders to sexual sin to just all that stuff. I just want to just surface it and actually talk about it, and like not to be ashamed about it, and not have shame, because everyone sins and everyone falls short of God's glory. So we have grace, and that's what I really like to share, love and grace. And there's a lot more too, but I'll leave that there. So if you would like to know of my other things, my other plans that hopefully I can incorporate into my time in this internship, then just let me know. We will talk much more about it. So just like other missions organizations, our mission strongly depends on the gifts of friends and churches who have a heart for people, and we are each required individually to raise support for our missions in this internship. So my personal support raising goal is to raise $1,200 each month, and the way for me to do that is to find 20 people, 20 of you hopefully, who can commit to sending $60 a month or more if you feel inclined to, for 10 months. Well, yeah, that's the duration of this internship, for 10 months, and be a part of my support team. So if you choose to be a part of my support raising team, and with my asking you of committing to prayer and financial contribution, I will personally make a commitment to you, which will be threefold. My commitment to my support raising team is 1, to work diligently to touch the lives of students for Christ. 2, to communicate regularly with you guys, to report to you like everything that God is doing in me and through me in this ministry. And 3, to pray for our ministry and to pray for you guys personally, and to just have a two-way street of give and take. Just have an actual relationship with each of my supporters. And also, I have a fourth one, actually, that I just thought of. I would like to start a YouTube channel to personally document everything that goes on during this internship, all of my feelings, all of the things that I find out, like all the things that I discover through the Bible and through Bible study groups and through meeting new people and going new places and stuff like that. I really would like to do this. So that's going to be the end of my video. And if you feel inclined to become a part of my support team, feel free to contact me through phone number or email, and I will give you the steps of how to become a monthly support. And if you guys need any more information, any further information, just let me know. I will be glad to explain to you further more details about it and more about what I will be personally doing.